Hello again, everybody. Josh behind the camera, Ted in front of the camera. Say hi, Ted. We're talking tents today, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Gemini series of tents. I just want to start out by saying this is my tent. I love the Gemini. Why Gemini? Because space. Lots of space. If you're taller, this is a good tent to take for sure. You have a lot of room. You can sit up in it. Big doors. 2 people can sit in the doors, put their boots on, whatever. I mean, this is, if you want space, this is your tent. But the beauty is that with our optional footprint, you can take that same space at a much smaller, lighter package. Ted, show us what we have.
That said, you can take it with a footprint, make it a lot lighter and smaller if you're willing to forego the bug protection of the inner tent.
Excellent point.
It can be done, and it works quite well. I'll show you how. Gemini, made up of the fly. You want to make sure that comes with you. Footprint. Want to make sure that comes with you. But if we're going to try and be ultralight, we'll leave that stuff sack at home. Just the footprint. I'm going to pull out the inner tent. I'm going to pull out the pole bag. And again, because I'm trying to be ultralight about this whole thing, I'm only taking the bare minimum requirements. That's all 4 of the poles. Make sure you take that. And at least 2 stakes to set it up. And I can go ahead and set that aside. Real important, you won't be happy if you forget this part. Take the inner tent, open it up, reach on the inside, and make sure you take these handy dandy little elbow joints, hole connections, with you. They're very simple to remove from the body of the tent. You just untoggle them like so. There's 1, and here's 2. Again, don't leave home without those. Put that aside, and now I get to leave the tent body at home. Again, just to to emphasize what you're leaving at home. You're leaving the tent body at home, stuff sack for the footprint, pole bag, repair kit, extra stakes, and then get another stuff sack.
That's a lot of bulk.
It's a lot of bulk, a lot of weight that you can leave behind that you don't need to bring with you. Again, I'm going to go ahead and put the 2 stakes in my pocket. I'm setting them up. Oops. Where did I leave my other elbow? Don't forget that either. 2 of those guys, and I'll put the fly aside right now. So first thing I'm going to do is, Josh, I'll let you walk me through this process.
Okay, well, footprint. Let's talk footprint. So, important to note, you want to make sure that when you are putting the footprint down that the coating side is up. The other thing to point out that Ted's going to show us here, footprint is actually color coded. So there are connectors on both sides. Notice that this one here actually has a red piece of webbing. On the other side,
as opposed to,
it's all gray. This will become key later when we attach the fly to it. So he's got the red side there, and we're going to go over to the other side and kind of pitch out the gray side, right?
2 stakes.
Ted's a professional, so he keeps stakes in his pockets.
Like you do.
Like you do. So again, as he pointed out before, you only need 2 stakes, and what he's staking out now is the ends of the vestibules. These will also be the entrances effectively, since you have, as you will see in a moment, poles running through the other primary 4 corners. Those will actually stand up on their own, so save a little bit of weight just by using the 2 stakes. Obviously you can take more if you think the conditions will be windier, but should work just fine with the 2. So next, Ted is working with the poles. Now again, on the Gemini you have 4 poles, all equal length, all same color, so even I can't bang these up. Maybe this is why I like the tent.
Simplicity.
Simplicity.
Okay, you're going to want to take the poles, go back to the footprint, and you'll notice there's a little shoe or sleeve on either side, and you're going to want to go ahead and slide the poles inside the shoe there. And another one at the opposite end, just like so. Now those all important hubs, you're going to want to take that hub.
Here's where the magic happens.
Slide 1 pole in, arc the 2 poles, and lock it in like so. That's one setup. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the other side. And same trick.
Orange connector. Arc the poles into the connector. So now it's fly
Okay.
time.
Color coding. When we do that, now you want to grab the fly and make sure you've got the 2 red pieces of webbing. We're going to match that up to the clips that we have on the footprint. So we know that we've got the 2 red pieces of webbing down here with the 2 red ends of the clips. But before I clip those, I'm going to come right back here. I'm going to flip to the inside of the fly and grab the toggle that I used for setting up the tent when I have the inner tent with me, and slide that toggle through the loop on the hub. And drop that down. Actually, take it with me. Come to the other side here, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing over on this side. I'm going to grab the fly, reach to the inside of the fly until I find the black toggle right here.
And you'll note on that connector there's actually a white and a black ring. Black toggle to black ring. What you don't have here is the white ring actually sets up with the inner tent that you left at home. But they are color coded for a reason.
And now we flip the fly over the whole configuration. We basically have the tent set up. Now I'm going to go ahead and take all of the webbing and buckles and connect them on down. Lock them into place. Like so. Do the same thing.
Red to red. Just going to step over on the other side and do the gray. And you can see the tent is definitely taking shape now. And you'll notice too, by toggling those rings at the top of the fly, look at that way it peaks the roof of the fly itself. It helps shed water much, much better this way.
Now I'm taking the vestibule on the fly and anchoring it back down to the stakes that are already placed down here with the footprint.
Looks good.
Now we have the basic pole fly structure up. Obviously if I brought more stakes I could tension more things out. I could go ahead and tighten these down to get more tension on the fly, but I want to show you what's going on the inside real quickly. The inside of the Gemini 2 when it's set up like this is really, really spacious. Great shelter for 2 and ample room actually even for 3.
Yeah, I might have 2 in the name, but you get in this configuration with the fly and the footprint, you can easily get 3 people in here.
Let me throw in a mat real quick so you get a sense of the space in here. So plenty of space. Let me show you one other detail to finalize the setup of the Gemini fly footprint only. At the cross of the poles at this end, there's a little webbing or lace that you can take and tie, and that puts a lot of tension on the cross pieces. So you got a much more wind stable setup. The same thing happens at the other end. Real easy to do. Just tie a simple bow on there, just like you do on your shoe, and you're set to go.
And it helps take a very light shelter, but make it really pretty windproof in windy conditions. So, looks good, Ted. You look good in that tent.
I like it.
All right, good schlafen.